On September 11th, 2001, hijacked planes crashed into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a field in Pennsylvania. This year marks the 17th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. What you're about to see are experiences from first responders and a survivor. These are their stories.
My first thought is, where's my brother? His firehouse was on 17th Street between 7th and 8th, which is walking distance. And I knew he was working. He was supposed to get off that morning. But I knew he was going to still be there when that first tower was struck.
The morning of 9/11, I was on Pennsylvania Ave on my bicycle. I did bike patrol around the White House complex. Then I got a phone call from my wife and said, "Hey, there's a plane just crashed." And I said, "Yeah, I just heard about that." So at that time, I said, "I'm going to go into the break room and put on the news, watching." And then I see another plane crash into the World Trade Center. So immediately I got off the phone and I said, "I got to go. We're at war."
The two towers, a huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way!
Once my father called me and told me that the only person who hadn't checked in was my brother, I beelined to the precinct to get into a uniform, because I knew the only way to get downtown was going to be in a uniform. As we're going down, we hear an officer, a female officer, calling a 1013. She was calling for help, and you could hear her voice going away. She was getting buried. And we're this bus, and we're like, we need to get there. We never knew what happened to that officer, because we're still trying to get to Manhattan, and it's you're helpless at that point. You just look at each other like, we need to get there,
Maybe a minute or two, we get air traffic telling us about there's another aircraft. It's like, well, so another one's coming, but now it's in our area, not New York. We were notified via radio that the aircraft had crashed into the Pentagon.
I just had a really bad gut feeling in my stomach when I saw that. I said, "There's nothing good going to come from that." The way it looked already, it was pretty bad. So my husband was a New York City firefighter at the time, so I got off the expressway right away and tried to get back home.
I was at the court on the North Shore of Staten Island, and we looked across. They closed the court, and we looked across, and I saw it on all the smoke and stuff, because you could see across the bay. That's when I first found out about it.
It was very difficult just trying to find out what was going on. And when I got home, I had a message from him just telling me that he was headed into the towers. So that was the only information I had until about 8 o'clock that night, when he was finally able to call me.
At that time, nobody knew, especially that far away, what was going on. And then, boom, the second plane hit the tower. I left a message for my wife, Angie, at the time, and said, "Okay, I gotta go in." They're recalling all the firemen, and I went to the firehouse, and a half hour, 45 minutes later, we were on the Staten Island ferry going over.
I was on patrol as a sergeant of police in the 23rd Precinct, and we were driving through our assigned area. Looking back, I may have heard a loud plane passing over my community, because in hindsight, the plane actually passed over northern Manhattan.
That morning, it was actually a beautiful, clear sky, as I approached the Millennia Hotel, which was on my left, I remember the sound of a plane just being so unusually loud. As I looked up, I could see just the last part of the word American on the side of the plane as the plane pierced the building in front of me.
This was the day of all days. This was the hour of all hours. This was the one moment in a person's career where you either run and hide and you live as a coward, or you stand up and you do what you were trained to do. And you fulfill the role knowing you may perish committing and following your training.
So I start yelling out, "Hey, I'm looking for ladder 12, looking for ladder 12. And I say, "Angel, where's my brother?" And he just holds me. And he just shakes his head, you know. So I got my answer, you know. But I didn't want to accept it. I said, you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to look.
Remember when I said you didn't think the day could get any worse? It just kept getting worse and worse.
We were literally scouring the area and the rooftops for any body parts that we could find. Knowing that what I was doing was going to bring closure to some people is what made me push through.
I started hearing another sound, but this sound I recognized, and it was terrifying. It was Navy jets or military jets. I knew I heard the sound of military jets. Someone said out loud, "Is that ours?" Absolutely, those are our planes. I had no idea. But as a supervisor, I felt the need to reassure the men.
Obviously, you do it because you love the job. You're not making money. You're not rich.
As strange as this sounds, there was no place else I would rather be.
Once a cop, always a cop. That's what they teach you. I'd rather fall trying than live with the guilt. That's what we do. You know, we're a different breed.
After 9/11, things change, your perspective, your priorities change big time.
I think a lot of people, I think they just naturally want to forget. I hope that's not the case. I mean, because this was, it was a horrible day in world history.
That day was like walking into the pit of hell. And you guys had every reason not to want to be there, because we didn't. But you stayed. You chose that job, you honored it, and you stayed. And I'm thankful for every last one of you that rose to the occasion. You are true heroes. And people like myself never forget you.
My name is Angie Fallon, and I am a nurse that responded to 9/11.
My name's Anthony Labosco, and on 9/11, I worked for the United States Secret Service at the White House.
My name is Michael Troisi. I'm a retired sergeant with the NYPD. I was present on September 11, 2001, during the collapse of the World Trade Center at Ground Zero.
My name's Adam Fallon. I was a firefighter from New York City. I was at 9/11.
My name is Ed Warby, New York City police officer, first responder at 9/11.
My name is Renee Palma, and I am a 9/11 survivor.